Yeah, I can. Hello, you're right.
Yeah, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. This is our first podcast, right?
Yeah, first ever episode of Gunner and the Devil. Excited
Okay,
for this one.
awesome, awesome. So, obviously it started to record already. I never used the app
Yeah, I'd
before.
actually never used it before either, so it's
Yeah,
new, everything.
that's fine. We learn with mistakes. So,
Yeah,
um, just gonna have a bit of a context or content on how the podcast will be.
yeah,
This is for the viewers that's tuning in and that's listening. Firstly, thank you so much for tuning in.
yeah,
We're going to be planning to do this at least once a week. Do apologize for the background noise. I do have a baby behind me.
yeah,
Is conveniently stopped being fed as soon as I went live. But we're planning to do this on a weekly basis for time being to see how it goes.
yeah,
Um, uh, and We're going to be talking about different various subjects. In terms of my channel, I run a channel called Draco Evolve, which focuses everything around Manchester United. However, this is an extension to that channel. It's not going to be purely about Manchester United. We're going to be talking about different subjects of football as the weeks go by. Obviously, today's subject is Arsenal versus Manchester United, which is the big game coming
yeah. The
over
big game
the
on Sunday.
on Sunday. So we thought we'll start off with that. Going to introduce to Danny. Danny, would you like to introduce yourself and also your username for your Spotify? I believe that's going to be posted onto, right?
Yeah, it's just my name. Yeah, it's just my name, Daniel Ahmed. DANYAAL Ahmed. Yeah, I'm a student, as you already know. The way, yeah. So it's
Please,
basically,
please, please call me Draco.
I'll call you Draco.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll call you Draco.
Let's not be too formal here. It's a chill
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. I'm just nervous because it's the first ever episode. But yeah, I'll get used to it time in it. So
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
basically, yeah, this is an extension to Draco's channel. Obviously, he's mainly focused on Manchester United content, but I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm a Gooner. I'm going to be your Gooner host, and obviously, this is the Arsenal and Manchester United collaboration, and that's what's obviously going to be the big hot topic of debate in this podcast,
Yes.
I guess. And a great point to start, obviously, with the match on Sunday. So
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Daniel. For
yeah,
those of you just looking at it from my YouTube channel, I'll be posting that link to that podcast in my description. So do go and check it out. As I said,
yeah,
it is our first podcast, so there will be mistakes. It's not going to be perfect, but as the weeks
yeah.
go along, it's going to get better and better.
Yeah, I'll get used to it as time goes
Yes,
along.
and hopefully in the future we'll do more of this, depending on obviously.
Yeah, I did. I don't think I showed you the. I did already publish a trailer episode the other day. So basically,
Okay.
went over the briefs of it,
Well,
and I
that
said
would be
that.
brilliant if you could send that over to me via email. I can
Yeah, I'll
incorporate that
send you the
trailer
link
into
after. Yeah,
my video so that at least everyone
yeah, yeah.
knows. But anyway, let's jump straight in. Do excuse the background noise. Do excuse some of
No
the
problem.
problems. It's a new
Yeah,
one. We're going to be talking about Arsenal versus Manchester United.
yeah,
Danny has so kindly told me to lead this anchor, and I'm happy for that. Thank you so much, Danny.
yeah. No
But a bit
problem.
of a content around what we're going to be discussing. We're going to keep it around an hour long. Let's see how it goes. But we're going to be
Yeah,
talking about, what our current feelings about each other's clubs, what we feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and what you feel about Mikel Arteta. Look
yeah,
ahead to the game on the weekend. Potential predicted lineup. Who are the danger men for each position or each team? You can say, and we'll have a bit of a score prediction right at the end. How does that sound, Danny?
yeah. Sounds great. Yeah,
Cool. Right. I'm going to ask you the first question, and I'll answer it myself in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the first
yeah,
question is: obviously, both are ex-players at the club,
yeah,
and both have been loyal servants to the club as players, and
yeah,
obviously, both have kind of started the same journey but different time frame. Obviously, Arteta is recently joined Arsenal as a manager, and Ole Gunnar
yeah.
Solskjaer for a couple of years he's been a United manager. What are your feelings as a Gunnar? What are your feelings of Mikel Arteta so far?
Yeah, so far I think it's actually been a pretty good job. I mean, recently we've had a kind of like a dip in form and results. Obviously, last week I had that shock defeat to Leicester, where Shkodran Mustafi he literally left the space open for Jamie Vardy to score at the Emirates. So that was pretty disappointing. But since he's come in, he's actually done a pretty good job in terms of solidifying the team again and focusing the team more around defence. Whereas, which is obviously what our previous manager Unai Emery wasn't too good with. He was more of an attacking manager. I think it kind of worked against our favour in the end. in a sense, because obviously we went to the Europa League final the previous season and we got absolutely whacked by Chelsea. Do not even
That was a
remind me
good
about
day.
that. That was a horrible day. That Baku gives me nightmares now.
Look,
But yeah,
I'll have to pause you a little bit there, and
yeah,
whilst that is still in my thought process, I have to agree with
yeah,
you 100% on what Mikel Arteta has done since Wenger has left, and even the back end of Arsene Wenger. I think it was
yeah,
toxic around the club. But
yeah, definitely.
obviously, Emery didn't do a great job. I think he had patches of good results, but overall, he didn't do a good job. But what I'm seeing with Mikel Arteta as a person, as a fan looking from outside of the club, what I've seen so far is you're absolutely right when you said that he has brought in a bit of stability. You're
Definitely.
defensively, the unit, the work rate is on point, and that's something
Yep.
we haven't seen from an Arsenal side for a number of years. I think
Yeah.
as great you guys are going forward in terms of your attacking options, it's always the problem
Yeah.
at the back, and that's where teams kind of get at you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And obviously, the obvious thing is that since it's come in, sorry to expose you on this one, but we've won 2 trophies already, even if we can't do
Ah,
a community shield.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, Ollie's at the wheel, mate.
But still more than Ole's got in his. How many years has it been since he's come?
Let's not go
We got
down
2
there. You
years.
know,
2 years.
trophies are the. I'll take the L right there. Actually, thank
Yeah.
you for that. Trophy,
For now, yeah.
trophies are the most important thing for any club, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, Ollie hasn't got any trophy on his CV with Manchester United, and
Yeah.
Arsenal's got 1 trophy. I count 1 trophy. It is.
You don't count the community shield.
I don't count. Nobody counts the Community Shield. Only Arsenal fans.
I mean, literally, United. When was the last they were doing? They won it not that long ago as well. But then you guys are like,
with
yeah,
with,
counts
with,
the
with the
trophy for
Community
us.
Shield, it's more like a glorified friendly. We don't really count. I
Yeah,
think some fans
there's a lot
count
of
it.
yeah, a lot of agreement on that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, except when your club's in and you win it. But,
Yeah,
okay.
much like Liverpool fans, right? You know, oh, we won the Community Shield. They actually count those trophies. But we're not talking
Yeah,
about Liverpool here. But certainly the FA
yeah,
Cup. You know, talking about the
yeah,
FA Cup, you guys are in phenomenal form with the FA Cup. That's one cup in recent
yeah.
years I can say.
We seem to just turn up in everything. Like
Yes,
we beat Man City, beat Chelsea. Like, we always turn up in those
yeah, and
competitions for some reason. And
it
not
does
I was
seem
watching the
like
league.
Arsenal take a lot of pride in playing in the FA Cup. Understandably, they're not going to challenge for any European trophy at the moment. They're not going to challenge.
Not at the
Yeah,
moment. I mean, not with the squad at
yeah,
the
and they're
moment.
not
Yeah,
going
I
to
agree
challenge
with
for
you
the
there.
Premier League, so they do prioritize the FA Cup, and we've seen that over the last few years or few seasons,
Yeah.
where Arsenal always pretty much end up winning the FA Cup.
Yeah, I mean, in 2014, 2015, 2017, 2020.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
4 times in the last 6 years,
yeah,
I believe.
which is a brilliant return. And to be frank,
Yeah,
as I said before, trophies is the most important thing, and
yeah,
Arsenal has done well on that front. Obviously, they've got a
yeah,
base now, as you said. They got a base to build on. What's his name? Arteta. I forgot his name.
yeah. Arteta,
Arteta is
not
a
Emery.
clever manager. I feel that he
Yeah,
has learned a lot from Pep Guardiola. You can see it in his in the style that he's playing. I mean, when I
yeah,
was watching Arsenal, obviously pretty much everybody was watching Arsenal after Wenger left. They want to see how the team does with a new
yeah.
manager
Very
because
interesting to see.
Wenger was
Yeah,
there at the club for how many years?
yeah. And
So
Unai Emery was definitely a risky choice, to say the
yes,
least.
yes,
Yeah.
and I couldn't see much pattern of play with Unai Emery, but with Mikel
I mean, there
Arteta
was,
in the past,
yeah, yeah, definitely. But obviously, there was some performances under Emery that really were good. But obviously, for the most part, defensively, we had issues.
yeah,
Yeah,
and with Arteta in the short space that he's been at the
yeah,
job for less than a year, you can see a lot of a difference, the style and tactics, the approach
yeah,
of play.
exactly. Yeah,
He's building something there. Obviously,
yeah.
I do feel that you guys need some defensive midfielders and centre backs. I think that's an
I
important
mean,
thing.
yeah, we did address that in the transfer window. I mean, we bought Gabriel Magalhaes, I believe you pronounce it, in the transfer window. I bet I imagine you were after him. Well, I'm pretty sure you were.
Yeah, it was there was
And I
rumors
think
going around.
you and Everton, I believe, and I think Napoli as well. I think we
Mm,
hijacked the move. That's sort of the reports were saying.
yeah.
And obviously Thomas Partey on the deadline. I was pretty happy about that one.
That was a brilliant signing.
Yeah,
We'll go back to the signings over the summer. In later on in the podcast,
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to discuss a few things around there. But
yeah,
your honest opinion, and I totally agree with you in terms of what you said about Mikel Arteta.
yeah,
And we'll leave it as that. In terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for
yeah,
me, I he's been at the club for 2.5 years, and
Yeah, it's gone
I,
quick. Yeah,
I've been Ollie out for
yeah.
since last year September, I believe, when we drew against Southampton at 1-1. August.
Oh, you've been all the way through then
I've
since
been
then.
Ollie out, so I'm not a tip top, yo-yo fan, you can say.
Yeah, yeah,
I've been Ollie out for a long time. Let me explain my reasons behind it.
yeah,
It's just that one, his tactical awareness is not there. Two, his substitute changes are too late. Three, he's not proactive enough during the games. He doesn't change formations or tactics during the games, right? Four,
yeah,
he's so naive on the interviews. Five,
yeah. Like he's like a yes man. Yeah,
yes. And five, it
yeah.
does seem like to me he surrounded himself with his friends. Like he recruited people that he knows, Mike Phelan,
Like Michael Carrick
yeah,
as his
Quinton
assistant. Yeah,
Fortune. Whereas he should
yeah,
have. There are other better coaches out there, and
yeah.
that's
Definitely.
that's why that's the reason why I was Ollie out. Now I said I
Yeah,
was Ollie out in recent
yeah,
recent.
yeah. I was about to touch on that. Yeah, recently
Yes.
he's really taken a turn
So
for the best. Yeah,
recently, exactly, he has been
yeah.
in the last,
Phenomenal.
yeah, in the last few games he has made
Yep.
changes at
Yeah.
the right time. I felt
Mm.
he changed his formation 2-3 times. You look at the RB Leipzig, that game that went. We
Sensational
had
the
three
performance from you guys.
formations in the same
Yeah.
game, which was absolutely brilliant to see.
3 formation changes. That's great game
Yeah,
management as well. There.
So
Yeah.
I was reading a stat. The RB Leipzig is a high pressing team, so Oli set out his team to contain.
Definitely, they're very actually pretty decent German side.
Yeah, they're
I'm
unbeaten.
surprised how
They're
much
unbeaten. They're Champions League
how
semi-finalist as well.
yeah.
Um,
Like they were pretty awful that day, but
Yeah, we
obviously
absolutely
you were
battered
on
them, and
top.
and I'm
Yeah.
seeing those changes in Oli, like in terms of his tactical approach. There's some sort of added dimension to it. His
Yeah, he's
changes,
definitely a big game
yeah,
manager.
and he's
Yeah.
more proactive in the game. He knows weaknesses, he changes it, and also the bravery in dropping few players, big name stars like Paul Pogba, like Bruno Fernandes, like Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, it's ruthless management.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
it's
dropping like
management in the right way, I feel, and I think it's not always about dropping players because they're not in form. Because Bruno Fernandes
yeah,
was in form, but he got dropped against RB Leipzig. But you can see
yeah.
as soon as he came on with Rashford, the game changed. We scored 4 goals. But that
Yeah,
was
it
a
was like
tactical,
16-minute hat trick against
yeah.
Diallo
That was a
Pamecano. Yeah,
tactical approach from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So
yeah,
in recent weeks, I'm liking what he's doing. All the stuff that I've said about him in terms of his match day is starting to fizzle out, which I want to see more of, which is fantastic.
yeah,
However, for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've been down that path twice with him in 2 years, where he goes on an amazing 20-game unbeaten run, then fails to win the next 10 games. We've seen that
yeah,
twice now with Ole in the last couple of years, and I don't want
yeah,
to kind of hold my breath on that. Like we might be going on a different good run now, but there
yeah.
is always that feeling of, okay, this has happened before, so I'm going to hold my judgment in terms of what I feel about
Yeah, hold
Oli
your horses a bit
until.
because I feel like he's taking a bit of a
Yeah,
turn in the form.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And Ollie's
yeah.
obviously done a lot of changes in the structure. I don't feel he was backed in the transfer window.
Yeah, I agree with you
Yeah,
there. I think for the clubs of the stature of Manchester United, you should be making the signing. Jadon Sancho should be like something you should be straight on.
yeah, that should have been a priority.
Yeah,
Anyone
yeah,
not even watching football will know that Jadon Sancho was the one that we
yeah,
wanted. But with
yeah,
the board, the way that they deal with things, they messed up Mourinho, they messed up Louis van Gaal, they messed up David
yeah,
Moyes, and Ole Gunnar
yeah,
Solskjaer does seem like he's been put under the bus in this summer transfer window.
yeah. As in, like he hasn't got the exact players. Like Cavani is a good signing, but it just feels like it's a bit of a panic buy because obviously he's past his peak.
And we'll get to transfers.
Obviously, yeah,
Actually, that's my thoughts on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's your thoughts on Mikel
yeah,
Arteta. Let's talk about the transfers
yeah.
actually, because that is nicely
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to.
transfers. And the transfers we did manage to do, and transfers also we didn't manage to do because I was also pretty disappointed with one or two transfers.
Yeah.
You know, if we'll get into that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, you touched upon Cavani here. Look, I
yeah,
100% agree that Cavani was more of a panic buy, because if Manchester United really, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and United really wanted Cavani, he was a free agent
yeah,
for 6-7 months.
yeah. Like if he was that good, then like other clubs around Europe would have gone for him. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
was thinking. Obviously,
and
over the whole summer,
yeah,
he was a free
United would have
agent,
got
and
him
then
long before the
yeah,
season has started.
yeah,
Preparation time. Now he's come in. He's taking time for preparation. He had to self-isolate in the beginning at the same time. It was a bit of a
yeah,
mess up. Donny van der Beek
yeah.
is a signing I think is in the right way.
He's a great signing. Yeah, he was good in the Ajax
Yeah,
team with
yeah,
like
and
Hakim Ziyech,
yeah, and
Delik,
I would
De
like to see
Jong. You
more
know,
of him, but I can
that
understand what
team.
Oli is trying to do.
Yeah, I was thinking like, why isn't Ole starting him? Because obviously I've seen him in the Netherlands
Yeah,
and everything. Like I know how good
yeah,
he is.
they're easing him into the team. I mean, he started against
Yeah,
RB Leipzig. He
I
wasn't
understand
that
that. Yeah,
great. That's probably
yeah, he didn't have the best of performances, but if he was playing as a number 10 though,
yeah.
then
And
obviously
and,
all the
and
United fans
that's
are
what we're
saying he should be
doing
as a
now at
number
the
8.
moment. Like
Yeah,
we actually have strength in depth in the bench. Like in the game against RB
yeah, yeah.
Leipzig, we had Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford on the bench. Those are
I know, like he's resting some
yeah,
you think first
yeah,
11
yeah,
players.
and those are top
Yeah,
players. And
yeah,
I do see what's happening a little bit. Like the depth is so important, especially in the season that we are in with the COVID situation, with the games
yeah,
coming
exactly. Yeah,
thick and fast. But overall, in the transfer dealings, what Oli has signed so far has been good. I think we overpaid for people like Maguire, but that's because he's British, he's from the Premier League. I think that's what happened.
oh yeah,
But in terms of depth, I think I enjoyed watching some of the signings. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was a classy example. He's a great sign.
yeah. He was a great signing, and he's been in good form
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
I'd say. Yeah,
And we got the likes. We still got clearing some deadwood, and so far Oli has done a good job.
yeah. Same with both
Yeah,
clubs
yeah,
really.
Oli
We've
has
got
done a
Deadwood we
good
need to
job
clear
in
as well.
clearing deadwood.
Yeah,
It takes time to clear the
yeah,
deadwood. You can't clear 5, 6 players at the same time. We still got
exactly. Yeah.
Rojo, Phil Jones, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, same with us with obviously
Yeah,
Socrates, Sayed
yeah,
Kolasinac,
we got a lot
players
of
like that.
players in both ends that needs a lot of clearing. I do understand
Yeah,
that it's a
exactly.
long process, but I like it so
Yeah,
far. It's just that it's such a for me in overall in terms of what United have done in the transfer window. It's been disappointing to say for the board to not have backed Oli, especially in this summer's transfer.
yeah. Edward would disappointing for
Yeah,
them, and obviously I think the
yeah. So
Glazers.
that's
Yeah,
that's my overall sort of feeling around the transfer and what Oli's trying to do on the transfer front. What about you in terms of Mikel Arteta?
yeah. I did think we did okay. I mean, but obviously the whole summer
Partey
transfer.
is
There was
such a
one
signing,
player
right?
that Partey is an amazing signing, but for
Jamie
me the
Vardy
main
loved him.
signing.
Jamie
Sorry, what did
Vardy
you say?
loved him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't get
Took a few
don't
seconds
get
to
into
process
that.
that.
Yeah, I could have been. Yeah, I think Vardy ruined the Partey. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah, but there's one guy that I wanted the whole transfer window for to sign. That was Hussein Aouar from Leon. I don't know if you heard too
Yeah,
much
yeah,
about him, but apparently
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I know about
yeah, he's one of the best young talents in
yeah,
Europe. And the whole transfer window, I was just scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through all the
I
news,
think we
and
were all there.
it was just links with him, and we're in talks with him. Fabrizio Romano was even saying, "Oh, the Leon president isn't backing down. We need to pay the 60 million euros it was." But
Yeah,
obviously, our billionaire owner, was being stingy. I don't get that. It's like with your owner, you've got your own problems. We've got our problems
and
with
that's
our
that's
owners.
like the same thing talking about the
Yeah,
owners, right? It's the same. The owners are for Americans, right? And they don't
yeah, both American.
it's all about profit for them. It's all about profit.
Yeah, it's like yeah, but you think, especially with our owner, we've got like he invests in multiple sports teams around the world, and obviously in America he's got the LA Rams team in the NFL. I don't know if you know too much
Mm.
about them, but basically he's put so much money into that stadium. Like he's put like billions of dollars into that stadium, and so it's for us Arsenal fans to see that when he obviously owns our club as well. Why aren't you putting that money into our transfers? Do you get what
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to say?
Anyway, that's done
Yeah,
this segment done in terms of transfers. Just
yeah,
obviously we didn't have that
yeah,
much in terms of transfer talk to talk about because it is early stages for both the managers.
yeah. Definitely. Let's not jump to
Yeah,
conclusions
yeah.
right away with them
Right.
two. Yeah,
The big part
yeah,
is the match, the big match. Arsenal, Manchester United versus Arsenal.
yeah,
I was gonna say Arsenal versus Manchester United, but then I realized
yeah. It is at Old
yes.
Trafford.
So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna bring up a bit of a stat for both of us so we know what we stand. Right. In the
Yeah,
last 1, 2, 3, 4, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the last 5 games that Manchester United
yeah,
has played Arsenal, we've only
yeah.
beaten you once. That was in the FA Cup
That's actually crazy.
2019 3-1.
Oh, is that the one where Alexis Sanchez
I
scored at the
think
end?
so.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And
Oh
the
god, I
last
remember
time
about
we
that.
beat you in the Premier League is April
Yeah.
2018. That's 2 years ago. Now, let me give my opinion, then
Is
we'll,
it?
we'll come to your opinion a little
Oh,
bit, right?
yeah,
For me, I hate
yeah.
Arsenal. Like, I absolutely hate
Yeah, I hate United. The feeling's mutual. Don't worry. It's
yeah,
all love,
yeah,
though.
and
It's all
and
love.
and to I always thought that we always batter Arsenal, but it's not the case. In 2 years we've only beaten you twice. One in the
Yeah, you say that, but then our record at Old Trafford is horrendous.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
in the league,
exactly.
anyway.
Looking at
Yeah,
Old Trafford, the last
yeah,
time you played at Old Trafford, the last 2 times you played at Old Trafford, we drew 1-1 and 2-2. It was a
yeah. I
close
remember
game.
Aubameyang
It was
scored last
yeah, it was a
season.
close
Yeah,
game. The last time we played,
yeah,
actually, we lost against you guys 2-0 in the Premier League in January
Yeah, Premier League, the Pepe
So
goal.
going on to the match, I don't think, for me, again, we'll do the score predictions right at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, at the end.
But for me, going into the match, I was honestly feeling comfortable a few days ago. But after looking at that stat, it's not a straightforward game for us, 100%. Especially
It's not straightforward for
yeah,
either
especially
of us,
the way
really,
that we started in the Premier League as United fans. We
Yeah.
haven't won at.
I mean, the league, you've been quite
Yes.
lackluster, to be honest. Obviously, with the 6-1
Yeah.
and then the nil
We
against
were
Chelsea.
absolutely dreadful.
Oh, and don't forget about Wilfred Zaha, Palace. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
bad loss as well.
exactly. So,
those are all Old Trafford, don't forget. So
yeah,
they're all home.
my feelings towards this game is, again, not giving away any score predictions yet. My feeling is that it's going to be a very tight game. But I do feel that whilst United have the better players to make the difference overall in the team, I don't think, I mean, overall in the team in terms of midfield and attack, we do have a better squad. I feel that Mikel Arteta is more tuned in terms of his tactics more than Oli. And that's what scares me. Mikel Arteta is a clever manager.
Like, he's a good tactical manager, especially for someone who's in his first job.
And that's my feelings towards the Manchester United versus Arsenal game on Sunday. Again, we'll talk about the potential lineups, the danger mans, and the score predictions in the next segments. But what are your thoughts in the game going in on Sunday?
Well, based on recent form, I ain't the most confident, like, by any means. Don't get me wrong. But obviously, after that Leicester win, I was thinking we should at least get the 3 points at home to Leicester. And we're going to this game with a bit more confidence and obviously with those points to fall back on. But now we've lost that. And we also lost against Man City the previous week at the Etihad. So now there's a lot of pressure riding on this game for us. Because if you don't win it today, then that's like, 3 defeats in
and looking back...
So,
looking back on the form of both the clubs, I got the table open right in front of me. Arsenal have lost the last 2 games, and Manchester United have lost the first couple of games. And there's only 2 points that's separating us in the league.
Yeah, and very close.
Both teams clearly need a win tomorrow to, you can say, to kickstart the season, right? Like, I know the season has started, but we haven't been on the ball.
It's the kind of similar issues from the end of last season.
Yeah, we kind of fizzled out and taken into the new season. Yes, Manchester United have been great in the Champions League, beating PSG and Leipzig. But on the Premier League, we have been absolutely dreadful. And that's what that's my it's such an important game, you know. I know it's early stages in the season, you know, not much can happen right now.
There's
6-7 games in, but for morale, team morale, and you know, having a base to kind of build on is such an important game for both the teams.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we need the win. And plus, we've got some of our players coming back into form now. And if Arteta sets up the tactics right, they could definitely be in for
I think it's going to be a close game. Now let's look at some of the lineups. Obviously, I do feel we have no injury problems as far as I'm concerned, except for Telles, the new signing Telles.
Obviously COVID. Obviously best wishes to him.
I do feel that I think we're going to play the strongest team. I mean, I do like the diamond that Manchester United have recently.
Yeah, like the one in the Champions League. That was pretty effective.
Bruno and Van der Beek to play in the same lineup, as well as have someone like Matic or Fred to shield the defense.
To sit back.
Yeah, because the wingers wise, obviously Martial being suspended, I don't think we play with wingers or inside forward.
Is Martial still
That's it, yeah. Next game is his third and final game of suspension, Martial.
Oh, so he's just missing out on our game. So it's going to be. It probably might be Rashford.
I think up front we're going to see that's Marcus Rashford, and I have a sneaky feeling that we might see Cavani play his first game.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a bad feeling. Just trust him to start.
I do have a sneaky feeling that we're going to have Cavani and Rashford starting up front, and I think we're going to go for a diamond formation. I do believe that Van der Beek, Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes all three will start because it's such a big game. It's not just a big Premier League game, but historically it's a big game, the clash. That's what I feel about the lineup. On defensively, I think Ollie's going to stick with Harry Maguire because that's the captain. But I do feel that Lindelof is not going to play. I think that with the pace that you guys got up front, or with Aubameyang and Lacazette and Pepe, I think someone like Tuanzebe who's got a bit more pace around him than Lindelof. and the way that he controls Mbappe as well. I think that's what we're going to see against.
Yeah. Tuanzebe is pretty good in that PSG game, so I feel like he might be
We do need pace at the back to deal with your attackers, because your front three, whoever you play, they're going to be paced.
Yeah, there's a couple of options for us.
That's why I feel my general gist around my lineup prediction in regards to Manchester United. I think we're going to go for a diamond. I think we're going to go gung ho. I think rather than playing Mason Greenwood, I think he's the one that probably will come off the bench. But I think Cavani will be making a start just to add a bit of presence up top.
Oh,
I'm going for it, man. I'm going for it. What about yourself? What do you think the Arsenal lineup?
It's always difficult with Arteta, because sometimes he goes with 3 at the back, sometimes he goes with the 4 at the back. It really depends on the opponent, so it's hard to predict with Arteta, but I'll try my best. So I think he'll probably go 4 at the back, and we'll have Leno in goal, and then Gabriel, and probably I don't want it to happen, but I think Mustafi will start.
I love hearing David Luiz's name
because he's injured. Yeah, obviously I would have said David Luiz and Gabriel, the Brazilian partnership, but I just have fear that Mustafi will start. And it annoys me because we've got a really good youngster called William Saliba, and obviously he's really good as well. But people are saying that why don't we just start him instead of Mustafi, who's clearly just not ready to start in his defense anymore. I mean, he's a shadow of the player he was like 4 or 5 years ago when we signed him. So, and right back, I think we still got a Hector Bellerin. I think he had a good game last week against Leicester. He's one of the better players, even though we lost. So he looks bright. Left back, we have to go with Kieran Tierney. He's easily probably our best defender right now, to be honest. He's putting shifting. Yeah. And I think we'll go 3 in the midfield. I think we'll go with Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, Dani Ceballos, and that's probably our best midfield right now. I'd love to include Mesut as well, but that's just me being
subject, isn't it?
That's
we'll cover that as the weeks go by anyway. I think.
And I know you mentioned Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe as a front line. Usually, I'd say those 3, but you should have seen. If you've seen the game last week against Leicester, Lacazette was, dare I say, horrendous. Like there's some chances that he should be putting away. And he just kept,
I do feel that he has dropped off.
Yeah, even Aubameyang definitely. Like the weird thing is, did you know? Like since he signed his deal,
yes, I read that the other day, and I was quite shocked.
It's like people saying he's Zelitis because since he signed his deal, he's just dropped off a bit. Yeah, so I think me personally, I'll go for Saka on the left wing and then put Aubameyang in the middle.
I think what a game for Aubameyang to score, right? If he gets a goal against Manchester United,
at Old Trafford, I mean that'll be great for us schooners. I know we wouldn't be fun for you guys, but I mean you've got Cavani and Rashford. You can.
I mean, we do have a great lineup. We just had a very poor start in the Premier League. I do.
Yeah, even though you've had a 4 star, you still definitely.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the team sheet, it does look really good. It does. I have to say.
It looks promising on paper, but what happens on the pitch?
It seems to have a bit of balance to it, big names to it, as well as youngsters to it.
It's just been a heck of a weird season.
It's going to be a weird season all the way through with the COVID situation. I think it's going to be absolutely weird.
Exactly. And I was saying about the right winger. Obviously, it's between Willian and Pepe. Obviously, there's been debates about.
I think as much of a talent Pepe is, I think Willian will start only because of his work rate and not experience.
Yeah, his work rate's fantastic, but obviously, I know yesterday we played against Dundalk. Obviously, it's a Farmers League club. Let's be honest. But I mean, he did have a good performance yesterday for what it was worth. So I think he should be starting in this kind of game. Plus, don't forget on New Year's Day what happened at the Emirates.
I do remember that. So
that's what happens. If I was Arteta, I'd start him, but I feel like he's going to start Willian.
Awesome. So obviously, this podcast is purely around Arsenal and Manchester United only. So I think I am conscious of the time. Obviously, if we were covering all other footballing matters, then in the
podcast, you go a bit out of the topic, but
let's stick to that one for now. Because it's the big game coming up on Sunday. Next week we can review the game and talk about other subjects as well at the same time. I'm conscious that we're reaching close to 30 minutes. Before we kind of start to wind down, what's your score prediction?
Yeah. Well, it's a hard one, It's always a battle between my head and my heart when it comes to these kind of games. But honestly, I think we can get a performance today. I think maybe 2-1 will win. Confidence, but I think
cool. I'm actually gonna go for a 1-1. I know, as much as I would
a 1-1,
United win,
a humble.
But looking at the stats and looking at what Arsenal are doing, and looking at our form at the moment in the Premier League, I think 1-1 is going to be my prediction. Although I would love a United win with all the banter that's going to go on Twitter.
Yeah, it's going to be banter.
But I think 1-1 for me is a fair scoreline. But is there anything else you want to add, Danny, before we start to wind down the podcast?
No, it's just best of luck to the both of us. Let's see the best man win.
Yeah, and for those of you that's joining in and listening in as we end the podcast, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's just a pilot literally episode. A pilot. We're testing out new things, and I understand it's 30 minutes, but in the future we do plan to make it much longer. We're just not going to cover Arsenal United. We're going to be covering other.
Yeah, we cover a wide range of topics within football.
Big shout out to Danny for coming on in the podcast.
Shout out to you for
it was his idea as well, which is brilliant. I'll be posting this up on my YouTube channel. On the description, I'm gonna get the link for the podcast so you can go and listen to whilst you're working or cooking or traveling to work. You'll have this podcast running. But next week, we'll discuss other options. Yeah. Part of the project I was thinking about going forward, I'm not sure, Danny. I'm gonna put you on the spot actually. Is obviously we're going to be covering. We're going to be keeping it United and Arsenal because both of us. But we're going to be covering wide range of football topics and stuff.
Yeah, Arsenal United.
Also, what are your thoughts on? Like, I got a Twitter account. I've got a lot of fans football fans in there. I can post subjects that we can cover and see on the vote, like what people like for us to discuss. But that's obviously as we gather a lot more audience, a lot more interest.
Yeah, you can go ahead and promote it on.
And for those of you listening, do you really appreciate if you just listening all the way through up to 32 minutes? I hope you guys loved our voices.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Do share it, get it known. It's the first of many, and hope.
Yeah, we need to get as much listeners as possible.
There will be mistakes, there will be errors, obviously, but we'll get better and better.
We're doing this first take,
no recording,
No bloopers, so just doing it as a goal.
Danny, thank you so much for joining into the podcast. Thank you so much for coming up with an idea of the podcast. So big shout out to you.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave the recording, and I hope to see you guys in next week's podcast, where we will be. One of the subjects is going to be the review of Sunday's game.
Review of this game, Hopefully,
the other subjects will pick up some subjects across the week. What has happened in the footballing world, and we'll discuss that.
Including, don't forget, the Champions League, Europa League will be before that next Friday.
Well, we can actually review all those games, actually, because we're going to have Champions League, Euro.
Yeah. We'll
we'll have a lot more to talk about next week as well. Yeah.
Obviously, this is just a pilot.
So excellent. Thank you, Danny. I'm going to leave the recording.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, look,